Okay, let's cross over live and begin this conversation tonight in Kaduna, where Bosan is standing by. We understand Bosan is standing by Ambrose in Enugu and Sumto in Texas in the US. But let's begin with you, Bosan, in Kaduna. The heat of all of the kidnappings and killings in very recent times. We haven't even recovered from the attacks on the airports just last week, Sunday. And there we go again, another massive kidnap. Though we understand about the 180 have been rescued, but 30 are still unaccounted for. Bosan, what's the very, very latest?
I want to tell you that we just came out of a press conference about an hour ago where the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, in person of Mr. Samuel Aran, he briefed journalists. He came to the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Kaduna State Council, to tell the world what is happening in the state. He was particularly very precise that early hours of today in Ikara local government area of Kaduna State, armed bandits actually attacked another school. They attacked a school called Government Science Secondary School, Ikara. But due to a security alert that was set in the school, the students were able to make use of it, and then they were able to brought the government attention into it, and then the police, the Nigerian Army, and then other volunteers of security personnel in the state came and then to their rescue. About 307 students are in the school, but they said nobody was able to, the kidnappers, it was a failed attempt. The kidnappers were not able to kidnap anybody. But my point is that if you look at Kaduna State, if you look at the terrain generally, you will understand that of recent, the killings and then the kidnapping or criminality generally has been on the increase. Before now, it used to be only Southern Kaduna. It used to be Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. But now the entire state. Last week, as you said, the kidnappers were able to attack, what do they call it? The quarters, the airport quarters in Kaduna, and then they kidnapped about 14 persons. To tell you the truth, today, somewhere around, the Commissioner of Internal Security also told us that in the early hours of today, kidnappers also visited the same quarters. And then this criminality, this armed banditry, this cattle rustling, or whatever name you might want to call it, has continued. The people of Kaduna State are not happy. To tell you the truth, if you even when the commissioner came, you could see it in his body language. He knows that there is tension in the state because nobody feels safe. Nobody feels as if there's government in place. Because how will you tell me that you will be in your house, somebody will come, unknown gunmen, as they continue to say it, that will come to your house, just kidnap you, kidnap your children, rape, burn down your properties, and then nothing happens. The only thing government do is press statement, or they come out and address the press. But we have not seen anything tangible. We have not seen anything concrete on the ground to show that the government are really sincere, to show that the government really want to bring this to an end. If you go to Southern Ghana, I can tell you authoritatively that there are about more than 30 communities, 3,000 communities rather. There are about 3,000 communities that have been displaced. They cannot go back to their farms, they cannot go back. Predominantly, if you know, in Nigeria and again in Kaduna State, we are predominantly farmers, so they cannot go back to their farm. The economic situation in the state is just down. People are hungry. People do not know how to even go back, go about their daily activities. Because the truth of the matter is that when there is no security, when people do not feel safe, they cannot go about, they cannot even think well. Talk more of going about their legitimate business.
Well, Bosan, such a very worrying and terrible, terrific, in fact, atmosphere I can imagine right there in Kaduna. But just a moment, help us understand what the Samuel Aruwan, the Commissioner for Internal Security, say anything about the remaining students. We understand that the governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, has a no negotiation policy. He said he would not, the state government will not negotiate with bandits. But we understand some students are yet to be accounted for. Did he say or mention anything about those students? About 30 of them, I think, about the whereabouts and the efforts by the state government.
Well, what he said is that he said the state government are focused, they are very particular about security in the state. He said that they are doing all they can to make sure that they secure the state. He said they will do all they can to make sure that those students return back to their various families safe and sound. But to tell you the truth, it's beyond that. You know, everybody around Kaduna State will tell you that it's beyond that. The government, people feel, there's a general feeling that the government are not sincere about all of this. Because if the government are sincere about all of this, they will bring, there's what we call community leaders. They will involve everybody. Let everybody begin to feel that he's part of this. You know, by the time you involve everybody, everybody will feel safe. There's a general perception around, especially the Southern Kaduna, that they don't trust the government. When they give information, this person's the security, what do they call it? The security agencies, the security agents, they come, they arrest, but after 2 or 3 days, you find out that some of these those who have been arrested, you find out that after 2 or 3 days, they have been released. So people around Kaduna, people do not feel safe. People do not even trust the security agents. So how do they even give out information that will help in securing the state? So until the government begin to act, until their body language begin to show that they are sincere in their dealings, that they are particular and they are focused to make sure that they bring an end to all of this. This is not going to stop. The killing is going to continue. The kidnapping is going to, if you look at Braining is the no-go area right now. Don't even talk about the Kaduna Abuja Expressway. If you go to the train station that takes you to Abuja, you will see that even generals, serving generals come there, you know, get tickets, and they have abandoned the Abuja Kaduna route. So is it because now the students are being involved that they come about with press statement? Have they done the needful? Have they gone back to the society? Have they gone back to the communities and involved those who we call the community influencers, the leaders, the religious leaders, to make sure that they tell them this is what we want to do. We are being sincere about this. Do something different, not press statement, not come to the Nigerian Union of Journalists or the NUJ Secretariat with a press statement again. No, people want to see something different. If you look at
Bosan, I think that's because we are actually even pressed for time on this particular topic, but I guess that's a good place to leave it. It's a very emotional day. I can understand the emotion is running even through you right now because you are an indigene of that place, and of course, stay covering the reports on going there. Very, very terrific atmosphere. I can imagine. But I'd like to thank you most kindly, Bosan Yakusak, our correspondent in Kaduna, live there, bringing us up to speed with the very, very latest. Thank you so much, Bosan, and of course, ensure you stay safe, brother.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, you're watching Firecrackers wherever you're watching from around the world. We are live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. Such a very terrific day. We are taking a look at the viral video where adopted students or kidnapped students from the college in Kaduna, the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization in Kaduna State, have actually crying or are crying and appealing for help. It's just a very, very sad day. But let's see if we can get further perspective tonight from Ambrose in Enugu. Ambrose, media consultant, public affairs analyst. How are you responding to this news right now from Kaduna? It's a developing story, a big story for today about students. The video, very emotional video, I must say. But, however, Bruce, there are actually reports that on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, some think that was staged.
People who are saying that thing is staged don't know the situation we are in the country. Those children, you could see them traumatized. It has been established that kidnappers came to that school, and we saw some of their teachers, some of their lecturers, their fellow students yesterday. We saw them on video describing what happened. So for somebody to say that it was staged is an act of wickedness, I will boast to say. You know, when we politicize everything or when we try to dismiss things because they don't directly affect us, it is an act of inhumanity. You could see how terrified, especially the young girls. See that boy that was speaking. These children were speaking at gunpoint. For God's sake, these are students. These are like our young ones. Parents. We saw a parent yesterday on video crying, saying that they send their children to school that as they committed crime by doing that action. Only God knows the further trauma. I mean, it was just the shouting we saw on the video. What has they gone through? What kind of trauma have they gone through? You could see that they were fearful. They were, the video was very heart-wrenching. And for anybody to come out and say it's stage managed is very unfortunate. That means some of us have lost the humanity in us. We should say that the federal government should do what it has to do quickly so that those students can be safe. And then beef up security, because we can't continue like this. We can't continue as a nation to have these kinds of issues. They are becoming more emboldened. They are even entering the airport grounds to the airport quarters, staff quarters of the FAN. They are becoming, sometime early this year, last year, they went to staff quarters, lecturers quarters in ABU's area. So they are becoming more emboldened. They are coming out to town. We heard of kidnapping sometime in Edo State recently, also has to concern academic environment. So it goes to say that they are living out their scripts. When you say Boko Haram, which means education, Western education is a taboo. And that is what, so if they are targeting school, it is not just isolated cases of banditry or whatever. They're actually living out their tenets. They're living out their doctrine to say that Western education is a taboo. And if they can frighten people out from sending their children to school, that means they are winning the war. They are winning the war of ideology. They are winning the war of the doctrinal impartation. And they are establishing their foothold. So I feel and I believe the federal government has the capacity. Our armed forces have the capacity to uproot these bandits. And just as the Governor El-Rufai will say, it is time not to do the kids' club anymore, but to go in and show strength. That even if there's going to be negotiation anytime soon, you are going to negotiate from the position of strength. You don't negotiate with these bandits from the position of weakness. So the federal government, I think we have enough of this cold feet. We should go in and root out these bandits, insurgents, or terrorists, and the way, whatever nomenclature we can refer to them.
Bruce Igboke, live in Enugu, would like to thank you so much for your thoughts and your views. Stay with us. We'll check in with you again as we keep looking at this issue. But let's cross over live now to Texas in the U.S., where Somto is standing by. Somto Ochuku Ike Ejiofor, an international affairs analyst, amongst many other things. Such a very huge profile you have. I can't go through all of that now. So let me also thank you especially for staying awake to join the conversation tonight. We understand the difference in time zone in the US, and you called earlier. All right, but as a Nigerian outside the shores of the country, how are you responding to the news of what is playing out here, the rise, the increase in killings and kidnappings in the nation?
Yes, it's very, very terrible. So last week, I think this is the second time, this is the second public kidnapping in the month of March, right? So everyone is talking about it. The Pope tweeted about it. Secretary General Anto talked about it. It is very embarrassing sometimes when you go and you see it on the news all the time. And not only that, there seems to be a lot of the situation going on. And it's very embarrassing because technically that's the first thing everybody asks you when they see you. They don't ask you, so what's going on in your country? What are you all doing? It becomes our fault. It becomes our fault. We're not doing anything. But hey, it's not we cannot do anything. We can only do so much, right? So yeah, it's really, really bad for us over here too, because it's also a reflection on our image also. But yes, I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to every mother out there. I'm very sorry, I should have said that first, but Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there.
So, and speaking of mothers, what do you think might be going through the minds of mothers in that region at the moment? It's Mother's Day in Nigeria and all around the world, but for many of those mothers, I mean, some of them were lucky enough or fortunate enough to see their children back. But how about the mothers whose children are still missing? What could be playing out right now in their minds?
Oh, they are very frightened. I'm very aware I'm very sure of that because I used to work for the governor's office and there were a lot of children here who were victims of trafficking and we worked with those families. So I know exactly how they feel and I'm very sorry that you're going through that. I promise that things will get better. I'm hoping and praying that you will get your kids back. You did not commit a crime by sending your child to school. You did the right thing. You did the good thing. You did the productive thing. You made your child a better citizen. So it's not your fault. This is not your doing. You did not do anything wrong. I am very sorry that this is happening. Please, please, and please, just do the best that you can. And we will, I believe that your kids will come back very soon. I am praying for them also.
All right, Somto, I'd like to thank you very much indeed for your thought. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Firecrackers. Of course, we take time to reflect on issues of national interest. Tonight, of course, we are staying with a kidnap and viral video, very disturbing video indeed, I must say, about the students who were kidnapped from the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization in Kaduna. And well, though some have been released, but about 30 are still missing. We can only hope and pray that the students regain their freedom as soon as possible. Such a trauma to go through. We understand that even the students that were even released just yesterday, on getting to the schools, we understand that about 3 of them fainted at sight in the school. The psychological trauma of going through this is one that I'm sure no one prays